Now, there's sort of a hybrid college NFL story that I find absolutely fascinating. It, of course, starts with this. It involves the Michigan football program. 7 members of last season's football staff were accused of violating NCAA rules in a draft of the NCAA's notice of allegations obtained by ESPN. One of those members, of course, is the former head coach, Jim Harbaugh, who now is the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. He directly addressed this matter yesterday. Listen.
Never lie, never cheat, never steal. I was raised with that lesson. I have raised my family on that lesson. I have preached that lesson to the teams that I've coached. No one's perfect. If you stumble, you apologize, and you make it right. Today, I do not apologize. I did not participate, was not aware, nor complicit in those said allegations. So for me, it's back to work and attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
There we go. That's Jim. That is 100% Jim. And that is Paul. It is 100% Paul. So when I watched that video yesterday, I'm not going to influence the jury with my own opinion. I'll go last. Paul, what was your first reaction when you saw it?
I mean, it's an Oscar-winning performance, Greeny. I mean, I had a lot of different emotions. I mean, I wanted to throw all kinds of adjectives up on the board. I wanted to label him as a pathological liar, as someone who is delusional. But I can't do it anymore because, I think he, in many ways, is the Jack Nicholson of coaching. I mean, he's a man for all seasons. He has so many different lanes, and you really just can't get mad at the guy. I mean, he ran, you can't say he ran a program into the ground because they won the national championship. Yeah, he left a stench behind, but as we have said, it will get cleaned up with very little penalty. He's making a fortune with the Chargers, and I'm going to bow at the feet of Jim Harbaugh for pulling off this scam and then acting like he didn't do anything wrong.
That was extremely well put in every possible way. Neek, what was your reaction watching it?
Yeah, I mean, I have a predisposition to not believe college football coaches especially. That was a great performance, but the bottom line is none of it matters at this point. The NCAA can't do anything to him. He could come out and say, yeah, I did it. I'm getting a bunch of money now from the Chargers. I got a championship you can't do nothing about, and it's fine. I game the system. But anybody knows that if you're going to, it's not a surprise how these things turned out. If you're going to set up something like this, and I'm not suggesting that he did, but if something like this is going to be set up, you know you protect the head coach. Like, he knows, I assume, if they are actually using this information that Connor Stallion is collecting, it's hard for me to believe that the head coach has no awareness that they're getting this special information, but everybody knows. Don't send me no damn emails, no text messages, and if anyone asks you any question, head coach ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah, plausible deniability. By the way, this is the legendary video. That's Connor Stalions with the first clue that there was something wrong is that he's wearing sunglasses. It's a night game. And he's standing like 5 feet away from the head coach of Central Michigan. And yet, the best part of this story, parenthetically, is that it took the NCAA 11 months to confirm that that was Connor Stalions on the sideline, something all the rest of us confirmed in 1 second of looking at the video, not to mention the fact that no one denied that it was him on that sideline. But back to Harbaugh, because he's really the one everyone cares about. Tim Hasselbeck, what was your reaction to the way Jim handled it yesterday?
Well, I wasn't surprised, right? We've seen it from other coaches that have, gotten their universities into trouble and then made the jump to the National Football League. I mean, we've seen it the USC with Ohio State. I mean, it's happened there. And I would say this to Neek's point. Like, if Jim Harbaugh did come out and say, yeah, I knew about it, what are you going to do about it? Greeny, to your point, it'd probably take 11 months for the NCAA to say, hey, Jim Harbaugh knew about it. I mean, like, that's it. Like, so I think, listen, I think the NCAA looks horrible in this in terms of their investigation. And I think that, look, if you're on the headset, like you hear the communication from the defensive side of the ball, like obviously you're aware of it. Like text messages are not. So, listen, I think we all kind of knew this situation. We all know that there's nothing the NCAA can do about it. And there's really no recourse for Harbaugh. He finds himself in a great situation in the National Football League with a really talented football team and an excellent quarterback.
Okay, so I'll go last. I can be accused, if you wish, of being the most naive person in the entire world. I can be accused of being the most gullible person in the entire world, and maybe those will be fair. I've known Jim Harbaugh for 32 years. If he was on trial right now, and he, in his own defense, made that statement exactly that way in the witness box, he did not plead the fifth. He could have pleaded the fifth, taken the fifth. He didn't. I would acquit him. I would vote to acquit. I'd be the holdout juror in this group. You all would be handing in jury a guilty verdicts, and I'd be like, no, I don't think so, guys. I think we need to be sequestered. I think we're staying overnight. Call me what you will, I believe him. I don't know why. I recognize that it probably makes me sound ridiculous, but just the way he said it,
yeah,
I believe him.
I like this remake of 12 Angry Men that you're creating.
Yeah.
We are in the jury room discussing this. But I think if you're basing it solely on his performance there in front of the camera,
yeah,
I think that I get where you're coming from, because he invoked his family.
Yeah.
And he's like, lie, cheat, steal, never, never. But if you look at like the circumstantial things of this case, if we're in the courtroom, it's unbelievable to think that there is some way that they are getting inside information, and the decisions that are being made in the course of a game are based on that information, and the head coach is like, oh, this assistant or this coordinator, this graduate assistant guy just had a hunch? We're going off this guy Connor Stallion's hunch? Nah, I'm good.
Paul, I will give you the final word.
No, I'm with you, Greeny. I'm going to vote to acquit him as well, because, I mean, first of all, it takes great chutzpah to do what he did. And I would like a neurologist maybe to tell me, go inside his mind, because I really don't think Jim believes that he did anything wrong. And that may be the most remarkable aspect of all of this.
Give me something.